Hello, it's a beautiful spring day and it's time to get the veg in the ground. And amongst the first ones to go in are the onions. Now these are some of the easiest veg you can grow. They're drought tolerant, you don't have to water them very much. You don't have to do anything particularly, apart from just plant them, water them in, and watch them grow. There are just two rules to follow when you're growing onions. They need good, well-drained soil, because if you plant them in soggy soil, they're quite likely to rot away. And the second thing is to keep them really well weeded. They really can't stand any competition from other plants growing nearby, particularly weeds. So just keep an eye on them. Make sure that you pull out any little weeds that you find growing amongst them. You'll have to hand weed because obviously they're quite close to the surface onions, so you won't be able to hoe or anything like that. But just go along there once a week, just pulling out any weeds you find, and that'll keep them happy. Now there are two ways of starting off onions. You can sow them from seed in midwinter, but if you want to take the easy option and just grow standard main crops, maybe red onions, that kind of thing, then it's sets you need. Now these are just baby onions really. All you have to do is put them in the ground and they just grow bigger during the season. They're also heat treated, which means that the embryo in there that produces a flower spike is killed off, which means they don't bolt, so you're more or less guaranteed results. So if you choose to plant them a little bit closer, say 4 inches, 10 centimetres, then that results in a medium-sized onion, the kind that's quite useful in the kitchen. Plant them a bit wider, 15 centimetres, 6 inches, and you end up with one of the bigger onions, one of the kind of things that you might see on an exhibition bench, that sort of thing. If you want really big, hefty onions, then spread them out a bit more. Now, I've got two useful measuring devices here. Don't bother with tape measures or anything like that. I've got my trowel, which from here to here is about 6 inches. And I've got my hand, which from here to here is about 4 inches. Very useful when you're planting onions. So all you have to do to plant your onion is measure out your distance, make a little hole with just your finger in the ground like that. Don't try and push your set straight in the ground, because if you do that you risk damaging this basal plate here. Now that's where the roots come out from and you really don't want to be damaging that. So very gently press your set into the ground and then just firm it in with your fingers, just like that, so that that little tufty bit, the bit on the top, just sticks up out of the ground. Now water that in, and that's all you have to do.